Hello, Louisiana Beer Reviews. We're looking at an old classic from 5 years ago.
Founders, KBS. We're staying along the theme today, or so it seems to be, there, of flavored beers.
Yep.
So, without further ado, this is the 2016 edition of KBS. You want to take over?
I hope it didn't go bad. Now, the amazing Cousin Mickey's highly acclaimed Kentucky Breakfast Stout, a flavored stout. It's good for everything a flavored stout ought to be good for. It is an ale brewed with chocolate and coffee aged in oak bourbon barrels. And I believe they use Heaven Hill, which we've had good experience with Heaven Hill.
Do you think they always use Heaven Hill? You said it often in these videos.
Well, because I looked at their website and they were talking about they use Heaven Hill
Every year?
barrels.
Every year you use Heaven Hill? Did they use Heaven Hill in 2016?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
You have that data handy?
I don't even care that much. It's
Okay.
bourbon barrels. It's probably not going to make much difference.
All right, just wondering. All right, so we're going to go ahead and crack this open and see what it's all about. We already know what it's all about because we all have had it.
Right.
But the big question is, did it survive the 5 years?
Obviously. Unless you had it in the sunlight in the summertime.
Let me know when you're finished.
Nice
Ooh,
pop.
it cracked. It cracked. And there was some fizzy sizzles. All right. I'm going to pour this and see what it's all about. Black as burnt motor oil.
You need to change your oil a bit more than this.
Black as burnt motor oil.
And that's not right. I want to see if they're showing the ABV on this. I think it's 11 point, but it might vary.
It changes
a little.
every year, doesn't it?
Um,
I think it's over there in the other corner.
I think you're thinking of
I think
Bourbon
your thumb's
County.
on top of it. I actually think your thumb's
No,
on
it's
top.
on the top of 2016. Bottled on February 16, 2016. So we just at 5 years, and it's 12.4. See, they got that light on light, so you can't see it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like they don't.
12.4.
It's like they don't want people to see it. Okay,
There's nothing left.
go on. No, wait.
Man, you can smell alcohol. in
Wait,
this.
appearance. No foam,
Nah.
which is typical.
Dead.
Dark brown like crazy.
Black.
Yeah, well, you get to see the brown. It's got
Yeah,
some.
you gotta really, really search for the brown and stick a light bulb in it.
You know, I'm doing that. and
Okay,
I'm seeing
so I'm still calling it black.
it. Yeah, well,
Like tar.
black is the new brown, and it's got little weird lacing with little dots.
Yeah, that's like alcohol legs for beer.
I've never seen anything like it. All right, like little granules.
I see it
Okay.
all the time. Okay,
I never-
so
I never.
I'm picking up plums, raisins,
Yes, dates
dates, like you would describe turned fruit a little bit.
and prunes, which doesn't appeal to me.
Prunes.
I like prunes.
Yeah. Whiskey and
Definite whiskeys. Probably Heaven Hill, 4-year aged.
probably some charred
I don't know what it is. I'm just making that up.
wood.
Yeah.
So to me, this kept on the head. The appearance, it kept. I'm not smelling anything funky at all.
Nothing old. Does not smell like
we,
old
we
beer.
often pull one out of, as Jay more commonly calls the cellaring process I have is the museum. But what I do is I always keep it in a box in a cool, dry area, and I don't let any sunlight get to it
It's a good idea.
until we're ready to try it, and then it's pulled out, stuck in the ice box for several days. Excuse me, refrigerator or freezer, and then we try it. So. Of course, this is one of the ones you don't want to drink cold anyway.
When
So-
I say Heaven Hill, I know Heaven Hill makes a lot of different whiskeys.
You love Heaven Hill. You speak of Heaven Hill all the time.
Well, it's so common. But some of their famous whiskeys are like Old Fitzgerald, Elijah Craig, Evan Williams. But I think they're literally using Heaven Hill barrels. Probably. You know, they're kind of inexpensive. You know, the barrel wouldn't be inexpensive, but the whiskey is sort of a budget brand. But maybe they're using Elijah Craig.
Who knows? Who knows? A lot of times it's not disclosed.
It's just from the company.
Well, for instance, like when we went to Carback in Houston, and they took us on a tour. We went around, and then they brought us over to the barrel aging center, and they had all kinds of barrels. It's like they didn't even care. It's like, okay, we got Jack, we got this, we got the Heaven Hill, we got all these different kinds, and then there's some
Buffalo
Scotch barrels, everything all over the place. So to me, that just means that they're gonna turn something out and they're gonna call it this. I have yet to see that.
But it might have appeared that Karbach didn't care, but they might have had a specific pattern to it that we didn't.
Or maybe they're gonna mix them.
Maybe it's going to be blended and just going to say whiskey barrels.
Maybe they're gonna mix it. Who knows?
You could just say whiskey barrel. Okay,
So,
cheers.
That's it. We're gonna go ahead and try this.
It's kind of a dead note taste, though, I have to say. I hate to say that.
Yeah, coming off the
But you got to call it like you see it. It's a dead note. It's like
Yeah.
it's not an off note. It's not sour or spoiled or old like old beer tastes, like turned fruit. But it's like a dead note. It's just like
you drink it, you start to get a flavor in it, and it goes weak, and then you drink it all the way down, and it's like whiskey. Man, is it like whiskey strong? You getting that?
yeah. And you know what whiskey is making me think of? The one you got over there in the kitchen called
Really?
no,
Irish whiskey?
No. The one from Heaven Hill. It's making me think, and I know it's probably not this, although it could be. It's making me think of the Clubhouse.
Oh,
Well, it's in a barrel,
yeah.
and that's kind of a dead note tasting whiskey. So this is like maybe they used a Clubhouse in 2016 and decided, nah.
But this is kind of missing some of its some of what made it what it was. I'd say the chocolate note has fallen off, and,
Oh,
and
it's
I'm
gone.
I'm left with some chicory,
Bitter.
and the coffee's kind of faded. So the bitter note's there.
So the cocoa is dead. The coffee's dead. The bitter is dead.
The cocoa's there. It's
Not
just
much.
gotten bitter, and it's like some kind of a chicory note going on.
I think the bitterness is coming from the coffee.
What
Maybe
is-
the hops, but those fade, hops.
Maybe it is the coffee. Sometimes coffee can taste kind of metallic.
Now I can't get that thought out of my head. I can't unthink that. I wish you wouldn't have said metallic.
Well, there is a little metallic
Yeah,
taste in
I
this.
would have preferred if you hadn't said that. Chocolate, coffee, and bourbon barrels.
I think the coffee faded off to be a little metallic tasting. It's not bad. It's just it hits you kind of sideways because you're not expecting it.
It's not bad, but
After
the
you have
body.
it a couple of times. It's like a strong cup of coffee. And you get that bitterness note on it.
But
You're
look how.
like, whoa.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Look how thin the body has gotten. It
Yeah,
tastes
gotten
really
real-
thin, like a thin porter.
You like thin fitty was this year?
Yeah, thin fitty, thin fighty, mama monkey. It tastes so. The body
Yeah,
the
but
body
it's
is
still-
so thin.
It still has the aroma. The aromas are still there.
With the mouth feels like so dry. It's like dry
But
powder.
it's gotten, and I don't know if it's because
It's starting to smell like spinach. Like canned spinach.
it does not smell like spinach. It smells like char.
I'm starting to pick up spinach.
Yeah, I'm not the one that had my senses altered.
Remember that
Smell
movie?
sensors.
Remember that movie? That Was Then, This Is Now. Let's think about that. This is now. I'm smelling this. I'm picking up. Is it predominant? Is it like grossly spinach, Popeyes, canned spinach oriented thing? No, but
No.
I'm picking that up.
I'm not smelling it.
It's just a touch, a faint.
Dude, I am searching for what you're saying.
It's just like a fleeting moment.
Now you say you taste it or you smell it?
Smell it. I'm like, I like spinach though. Canned
It's not
spinach.
there.
Dry
You
finish.
just get that alcohol. That's that strong alcohol going on with it.
12.2. Yeah, it's all right. It didn't age too well. Sorry to.
No, I don't think it aged well either. But I think it
12.4.
morphed into something else.
Yeah, it morphed into like. I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say it morphed into like a almost black looking Bud Light.
You don't have to drink it.
Oh, I don't want to be rude and waste it. But I'm not against Bud Light, but I wouldn't pay KBS price for Bud Light. But then most people don't take KBS and save it forever. I have aged some powerful beers in the past, and they held up. But everything is not going to hold up. That's
Well,
just,
I think we got a 3-year-old out one time and it was fine, and I think we even got this one out last year, 2 years ago, and maybe that was the 3-year-old that we took out and it was fine. So
different vintages, you know.
Did this age well? To 5 years? No. But what it did do, it still gave us drinking enjoyment 5 years later on something new and something a little better than what it was. Now, I'm saying that only because I like bitter notes. I'm your greens guy. I'm your bitter hop guy. I like all that good stuff. I think it's fantastic.
I like all those things, but I'm not calling this an enjoyable drinking experience.
The sweetness is gone. The chocolatiness is gone. You're left with some kind of like metallic coffee flavor going on and some endive root, I would say. So
great.
it's like coffee and chicory. So maybe this is what we're talking about. Hey, maybe this is you make a coffee and chicory beer.
But this is like an improper way to make it. I'm going to score it after you do that. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give it a solid B.
Like about an 85.
I'm going to give it a solid B. Your turn.
That's what a solid B would be. I hate to say this. I love KBS as evidenced by me drinking it all the time when it comes out and doing all kind of
All the
videos.
time.
I mean figuratively, I don't mean literally. But I'm going to score this sample, which is 5 years old. No disparagement against a good old KBS that I could get at Total Wine or some other store, Mathern's. But you might tell me never come over here anymore, but I'm going to score it at 69. It's a D plus on this level.
Interesting. I don't think anyone else would score it that low.
But I have this insight in a voice.
So what brought the KBS down to 69 for you?
It just tastes bad.
I think your audience wants to know because some of them say you give a lot of beers A's, and
Well,
they don't understand why.
I base it on, okay, we got to wrap this up, but I base it on A is excellent, meaning just so wonderful. B is good. It's good. You know, it's good. I'm enjoying this beer. It's good. C is like, I'm enjoying it, but it's average. It's not that good. It's actually not even good. It's just you could drink it. A D would be it's a bad beer. It tastes bad. I can finish it, and I will. It just has a bad taste overall. You know, I just described this. I'm
Is
not
it the metallic falling off coffee taste?
and everything else I described, smelling like spinach. No, the prunes was fine.
So when was the last beer that you had that was 5 years old that tasted good?
Oh, what's that one? Bigfoot, Sierra Nevada Bigfoot.
Okay.
2018, I had started aging in 2013, and then I did one from 12 to 17. They were good, but you could pick up. They were a little old, a little bit old, but they were good. I mean, it was like this one is not tasting old, but it is by virtue of it not being good and being all fallen off and degraded and depraved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to do a backwards bastard to see where that one's at because I believe I got one from that.
One day we will, but today is not going to be a good day. But anyway,
Anyway,
so
2017.
So Lazy Le Bon Ton Relais, but in my opinion, not with this one. And we're going to end this review by saying, y'all should. That's a cue.
Drink better beers. But I also believe that this aged into something else. And something for 5 years old, it's still drinkable. Still drinkable. You're not throwing it away. So,
David, you missed a cue. You like your job, do it.
better beers.